Hey, everybody, it's the Greg on Motivational Monday. How's everybody doing after the weekend? Yes, it is official, like a referee's whistle. It is Monday, and I'm here to inspire, motivate, encourage. Yes, the whole shit and caboodle, I would say, or my mother would say. But yes, we're going to talk about. Yeah, I got a lot of yeses in there. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. That's better than no, no, right? So we're going to talk about first, we're going to talk about sales. We're going to talk about last week. This is part 2 of sales. The first thing I want to touch base on the four ways you make money. You know, there's 4 ways you can make money that I know of: hourly, salary, commission, and residual. I love residual. Think about it. Elvis makes more money dead than he does alive. But commission is what we're talking about today. We're talking about sales. That's what I want to talk about. Part 2 in sales. Sales has a lot to do with how you feel about money and what you project, how you feel about yourself. You know, we're talking about that last week about my mother, the way she looked at money. That kind of got on me a little bit. You know, I didn't want to make a lot of money because my mother wouldn't love me. So, I mean, that's shadow work. That's some deep shadow work. That's for you to ponder. But I remember when I was in rich neighborhoods, I didn't feel comfortable. And I thought to myself, why don't I feel comfortable here? What's wrong? And I took that back to that. I love my mother. I love my father. And that's for everybody. You know, that's important. They gave me breath. They gave me life. I don't want to thank them for that, Madeline now. Thank you for the cooking and all the whoopings, right? Kind of thing. But yeah, it's we get our financial literacy from our parents. We get this from our parents. And lack of too, you know. And sales is really a lot to do with the way how you feel about yourself, how you carry yourself, Remember, money is like a woman. It has ears. It hears everything you're saying. You know, here's everything. So if you're walking around saying you're broke all the time and I'm spending money and I ain't got enough money, remember disempowering words? Think about that, disempowering words. That's what you just did there. You're just shitting all over your income, kind of thing. You know, I like to say I'm circulating money. I always say I'm circulating money. Be happy when you pay your bills. Be happy you have the money to pay them. That's where I look at it. But the way you look at money, like I said, has a lot to do with what your parents, they taught you them 7 years. And I said last week, a lot of people sabotage success because of that reason right there. They get success and they turn around and sabotage it. I sure like to have that try. I sure like to be able to sabotage it. But yeah, it's also like currency. Money's like currency. Why am I talking so much about money? Well, hell, sales is the highest paid profession in the world. If you're good at sales, you're going to make a lot of money. That's the highest paid. One of the highest paid. So yes, consider money as a currency, as energy. What's your frequency say? Again, are you walking around thinking about what you don't have all the time? Because you're going to get more of what you think about. The thinker thinks, the prover proves. So we need to be looking at money. We need to be looking at how we're boxed in. You know, your self-worth is determined by your net worth kind of thing. So where's your self-worth? People buy, speaking of money, currency and energy, people buy your energy. People buy your energy. Would you buy from you? That's a good question right there. Would you buy from you? Are you owning your space? Do you have good people skills? Remember, the person that's asking the question is in charge of the conversation. Are you the one doing all the talking? Are you asking the questions? Do you have good eye contact? Do you own your space? Shoulders back, body language. What does it say? What does it say? Because people are buying your energy. They're not buying your product. They buy your energy first. Again, I will say it. Your net worth is determined by your self-worth. Oh, a lot of people are very confident in life. Let me tell you about confidence. Confidence will get you a long way. But confidence and self-esteem are two different things. Two different things. And to learn to love ourselves more, because the more you love yourself, the more money you're going to make. The more you're going to appreciate good life, and more good things are going to happen for you. Remember, what the thinker thinks, the prover proves. And you're in charge of that conversation. You're in charge. No, it's the thing about it is understanding no. Again, going back to that word no, understanding no. Your no's build you, and your yeses build your business. You want to work on your self-esteem. You want to work on your confidence. Go get as many no's as you possibly can. Get a massive rejection. That's how you win. You got to go through it. It's a numbers game. Babe Ruth struck out more than he hit home runs, didn't he? Michael Jordan missed last-minute shots more than he made first, winning shots. You got to keep doing it. It's like the guy, Grant Cardone again. He asked his wife, I guess, 13 times to marry her. And she said no all 12 times. Finally, the 13th time, she went out with him. I think that's the number. He found out that she liked skeet shooting, And so he called her up and said he left a message that he had reserved a time at a real nice skeet shoot place. And they met, and that was history. But it took him 13 no's before he got a yes. And I think a lot of people don't realize this. Nothing is sold until someone says no. I'm going to let that marinate. Nothing is sold until someone says no. And remember, your no's build you and your yeses build your business. Go get massive amount. Go get massive amounts of no and rejection and learn how to sell it. After all, it still boils down to your attitude and your belief in yourself. Your attitude and your belief. Would you buy from you? I've been to car lots before. I've been to high-end Cadillac, BMW, and I've been to used car lots back in the day. They dress differently, the guys do, and the girls. They dress differently. They walk different. A used car salesman, they, got the cigarette out of their hand. I'm not trying to stereotype. Feet up on the desk, tie loose. You go to a Cadillac dealer, man, they're all smelling good. They're looking good. Remember, you got to take care of yourself. You only have a one time. How does it go? You only have one time to make a first time impression. So, hey, thanks for tuning in. That's part 2 of sales. Yes, the ism, spitting it out, having a little church today. I want to thank everybody for staying plugged in and turned on. And we'll see you next Monday. Ciao.